Hey everybody, and welcome to episode 134 of Daisy Knits. I'm Daisy, and we're going to sit and chat for a few minutes. So, last week I was telling you guys I was going to start the All Roads Lead to Rhinebeck socks. And I did start them, but I haven't really worked on them. So, let me show you the yarn. The yarn is actually, it's a bit washed out there. It's more back here, because up here it's like really orangey. It's not quite that orangey. It's more like burnt orange. It's Kickapoo sock from Utopia. I don't know if you can see that. I have a lamp on right here. Oh, there we go. So it's like learning all new lighting here. But this is the yarn. And like I said, the pattern is All Roads Lead to Rhinebeck. And I started it, got the kind of in the cuff, and I did one little bitty cable. And then I got distracted. So that's all I've done on this so far. I'm not sure I'm loving the needle pattern combo right now, so I may end up changing this out again. But that's where that's sitting at. And I honestly really haven't touched that. I think I cast it on the day we talked and then didn't touch it again. Or maybe the day after. I don't really remember. Because I started another project. I felt like that one was going to take a bit of brain space, and I was going for our annual Thanksmas. My family does what we call Thanksmas, so we all come together and we all meet and hang out. And I knew it was going to be a lot of chatting, a lot of hanging out, and I didn't want anything that was going to take a lot of brain space. I just wanted to be able to sit and knit. So I kind of browsed around in my stash and on Ravelry, and I found Smooth Moves by Stephen West. And typically I'm not honestly a big fan of his. I think his work is amazing, just not very wearable for me. So typically I don't look at his stuff, but this is an older pattern. And it's basically short rows giant shawl. And I love my giant shawls. They are my socially acceptable blankets is what we call them. And so I went diving in my stash and I pulled out a bunch of hand spun. And I honestly cannot even tell you the yardage on part of these. I just pulled it all out and went to town. So that's really what this is. And of course I'm in the middle of a row, so it's going to be a little awkward. So I have, well, this is one, this is another bob of one. This was a little skein. I want to say, I'm pretty sure this was an MCN blend. I'm pretty sure this has like camel or yak in it, and probably silk. This one, which is a pretty decent size actually, little section. This one was from Into the Whirl. It's one of the Firefly. She did 3 Firefly Club sets. It's one of those. And right now I'm working on this little bob here. So the whole thing's kind of at a slant, lumpy jawed, and it's done in short rows. And really what I'm doing is I'm just pulling out my hand spun that I thought would kind of all play nice together. I know it's a bit crazy, and when I first laid it out, my husband was like, no, this is going to look horrible. Now that I'm into it, he's kind of seeing how they all kind of still tie together, and he's really liking it. So right now, that's where we're at. I'm about halfway through the pattern, and I had to go stash diving again. So I have this much of this one left. I am going to throw this little skein that I have left in. I have a little bit of this guy left. It's just a little bit of purple. A little bit of pink. This was some that I had spun for my calligraphy cardigan. And this is some of the leftovers of that. And then I think I'm going to I'm going to do part of these bobs of little stuff, and then I'm going to go into this one. And this is some of my early hand spun. I'm pretty sure this is from Yarn Geek Fibers. I think Barbie Girl maybe? Barbie Worlds, something like that. But this is some old one, I think. I'm not even totally certain that that's what it is. It's kind of underplied. It's definitely thick and thin. My spinning is not something that I try to perfect. I just sit and spin for the pure joy of spinning. So I'm going to add all of these in. Oh, I have this one too, I think, that I might add in as well. And this is a 50-50 Tencel Merino blend. So it's more of a reddish than a pink, but I think if I put it in between some of these other ones, I think it'll look good. It's going to definitely be a little crazy in the colors, but really it's going to be more of a blanket, something to cuddle under, something to take when I'm traveling and I can throw on and pull off as I need to. But because I was digging through my stash of hand spun, and I've pretty much pulled out almost everything I have that I think will go with this, I sat down at my wheel, or at my e-spinner actually, this past week, and I finished spinning this beautiful, beautiful creation. Actually, I applied it this morning. I have not washed it. I have not set the twist. No idea of yardage. I have no idea what yardage is in here either. So no idea of any of that. But I sat down and finished spinning this. So depending on how this fluffs, it may end up going into my giant shawl too. So this is going to be washed next. I want to say this is from Fiber Addiction, but I can't remember for sure. I'm terrible about keeping tags for my hand spun. Just terrible. So that is done though. I've spun something and it is finished. Well, not finished, but it's finished. It's getting there. So that's kind of what I've been working on this week. I also did sit down at my sock machine and I played with heels some more. And I got to the point where I could get the first half of the heel done. Like I was nailing that, and when I started getting the second half of the short row heel, so like you're doing the decreases, got that. When you start adding those increases back, I botched it again. I think I did about 4 of those, just boom, 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 all in a morning, playing around with it, and I bombed all of them. So I will probably sit down some more and try to work on that. I do have some tubes that I need to crank out for commission, so that's going to happen this week as well. So that's my week. I want to focus on that shawl, work on my sock machine some, and maybe pull out Master Knitter. It's giving me side eye. What are y'all up to this week? I know Christmas is coming up rapidly. I hope that you all have a great week, and I'll sit and chat with you next week. See ya!